How has it been as well, man? Like, obviously you got to work with Britt actually in the ring. Yeah, I believe it was a month or so ago now. The famous kind of gifs of what that were flying around after that match. It must have been wonderful because I remember speaking to you and Britt, different companies, but also always super supportive. And now, it just seemed like it was meant to be, right? Like working together. Has that like, for instance, I don't have to take my girlfriend to work, Adam. Like, is it
Right.
is it better? Is it worse? Like, do you talk shop at home still? Is it just all engrossing wrestling? What's it like for you, Sue?
It's a lot better. And again, working in different companies was still an awesome thing. It was great to be able to finish match and to drive home and give her a call. She was worried about, same with Britt. But again, now be in a situation where we get to fly to the town together, stay in the same hotel, talk about what we're going to do that day together. And then to me, the most special thing is if she has a match or a promo, or if I have a match or a promo, and walking back through gorilla position and seeing her as the first person there, or me being able to be the first person there for her, is the best. It's better than FaceTime. It's better than a phone call while you're driving or while you're in your hotel room about to fall asleep. So yeah, it's been amazing getting to work alongside her again, for sure. And yeah, we still talk a ton of wrestling all the time. But working in the same company has been wonderful. It's been better in every way.
We were talking games just before we came on
Yes,
to
we
this
were.
interview. So yes, we were. So
Yes,
I
we
do have a
were.
question. WWE 2K is on the verge of coming out, but
Mhm.
AW's game is set to drop this year as well. Obviously, being the big game head you are, have you been able to talk to Kenny about it at all? Like, to get excited? Is that something that you would like to actively get more involved in?
So I absolutely would love to be actively more involved in anything video game related, especially within AEW. I wish I had some more info and some more details for you, but all I can say is I am fully confident that this game is going to shape up to be one of the best wrestling games in the past decade, for sure. Like I am fully confident in what they're envisioning, what they're going for. Again, video games are something that a lot of people, myself and Kenny included, are very, very passionate about. So again, I don't have any details, but I do know the AEW game is going to be freaking awesome. I'm very confident in that.
Is that one of the first things you did? Like, Kenny, tell me about it, man.
Yeah, right. Hey, let's talk games. Let's talk games. I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
I liked what you said earlier too. You've 5 years worth of content because you're into the title
Yeah.
picture now, and you have worked with Orange, and there's been different stuff that you've done. But you look at the roster, man. I mean, Brian Danielson is insane right now. Then it's just another world. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got your John Moxley's. We've got CM Punk, which is something you
Yep.
might have thought would never happen. Ring of Honor Hall of Famer now. There's a ton of different guys. Jericho, Jesus,
Yep.
that you could work with, you could sink your teeth into, and maybe there are plans, or maybe there are not. But in your own mind, have you been able to, even like a Jericho or a Punk, I guess, pick their brain, get to know them better now they're in AEW, and in your mind, are you fantasizing about some potential matchups there?
Oh, absolutely. So to answer the first part about picking their brain, yeah, I have gotten to talk to them about different things, or they on their own have offered advice or input. Again, both of those guys and really all the veterans, who, like I said, who have been around the block in the pro wrestling world, have gotten the chance to really, really help some of the younger talent, and that's me included. I've always been a guy that constantly wants to progress and move forward and get better. So I by no means am someone who doesn't want to hear advice or input. I am open ears for those guys anytime they have anything to say. So it's been cool to build a little bit of a closer relationship with all of them, working in the same company. But yeah, as far as thinking about having matches with them, of course. Like I look at Brian Danielson.
I
I
do
look
that
at
all the time.
Yeah, because I was about to talk about SmackDown. So I look at Bryan Danielson and I say, I want to have another match aside from the one that we had on SmackDown. And I think that opportunity someday will come. So to get to do Adam Cole versus Bryan Danielson in AEW would be really cool. Again, Moxley is another one who I only wrestled one time in an 8-man tag match for a Combat Zone Wrestling, like a smaller show that we did. Yeah. So I'd love the chance to get in there with him at some point. Jericho influenced me so much. I think even more than he realizes. I've got to tell him how much he has, but I mean, I remember reading his first book and going, I got to travel the globe. I have to travel. And that really made me want to go. I want to take any and all bookings I can get in Europe, in Mexico, in Japan. That inspired a lot of young wrestlers. And then Punk, I mean, he is top 3 or 4 most influential professional wrestlers to me, as far as how I think about wrestling and what I want to focus on and what I want to get good at. I remember seeing a promo of his for the first time, and it was against Raven and Ring of Honor, and being like so captivated by his talking ability, to where I obsessed on it and I studied it like crazy. And he knows that too. So I never thought in a million years I'd get the chance to that there would even be a possibility of Adam Cole versus CM Punk. And now that's a very real possibility. And I hope it happens someday. I hope all of them happen someday. And I think it's very possible.
Like I said, I'm mapping out the next few years of your career easy, man. Jeez. Yeah, one thing I do remember from the NXT run, and obviously having spoken to Triple H, I know you two had a great relationship while being in NXT.
Great relationship.
So departing there, starting to work with Tony Khan, everyone has great things to say about Tony. How has that been for you in those 6 months, man?
The same thing everyone else is saying. Tony is just such a wonderful, wonderful human being. His love and passion for pro wrestling is contagious. He gets so excited and so fired up about everything related to AEW. He is so zeroed in and focused on this promotion and making AEW the best that it can be. And this guy works all the time. He is constantly hustling and moving, and probably should get more sleep, but he's working. Like, he's just one of those guys who is just so driven and so focused and so motivated, while at the same time just being an absolute joy of a person, not just to work for, but just as an overall human being. The way that he talks to people, the way that he's appreciative of certain, he's an amazing guy. And I remember before I signed with All Elite Wrestling, I talked to Tony for 4 hours and 15 minutes on the phone. We talked for a very long time, and it was such an amazing conversation. He's just, again, he's one of those people where Tony could be talking about cheesecake, and I'm like, they want some cheese. Oh my God. Yeah, that sounds great. He has such, that's a horrible example, but he just has, and I mean it as the most sincerest compliment. He is such a positive, optimistic, motivated dude that it just makes you want to be that way too. So I love Tony Khan. I love him to death.
Infectious. That's the word we want, isn't it?
Yeah.
Infectious.
Contagious and infectious. Yeah.
Oh, so like in that 4 hours, is he like
through and through?
Is he like mapping out his thoughts for you? Is he just, because I heard that he loves wrestling history, so I bet he's talking everything. Yeah. Is he just basically, I don't know, like you said, I bet most people would think, he's trying to get Adam to sign, but really he's probably just his enthusiasm is dominating the call, maybe.
We're talking about everything, all this different stuff, wrestling related, and then some non-wrestling stuff. It's just, like I said, anything and everything. Tony's just a joy to talk to. He's a joy to work for. And yeah, I couldn't ask for a better boss, man.
Speaking of which, we mentioned Triple H then. Obviously, first of all, hope he's doing great. I know we haven't seen much of him lately.
Me too.
We know he took time away. I suppose you haven't had much chance to speak to him as a result since departing.
Yeah, unfortunately, we've shared a couple of text messages here and there, just kind of touching base. But again, you talk about a guy that I had such a great relationship with. I would like to think I still would or still do in some ways. But yeah, I have not had the chance to talk to him a ton, but it's always great to touch base with him.
Absolutely. We all wish him the best, no doubt about that.
Yes, 100%.
Just a couple more, man, before we wind down here. Thank you very much
Yeah.
for your time, as per usual.
Of course.
I did want to kind of touch on the Jay White story that manifested the other week, because Tony was very open that like he'd kind of made this promise, and then it got towards the show, and he was like, "Oh damn, like people might have misconstrued what I was thinking," so he had to make something happen. But it is very cool when you watch the domino effects that have happened since, like Bullet Club kind of unfolding and Impact. And obviously you are the guy that brought in Jay White as a result.
Yeah.
Again, like you must kind of relish, though, being able to go back to that Bullet Club story and everything that's woven in. I always feel that stuff's rewarding for a wrestling fan. You know what I mean?
For sure. It's rewarding for a wrestler too, because we also really, really care about those like little story beats and details, and then we get really excited when they remember those story beats and details. And of course everyone's going to remember stuff involving the Bullet Club. Again, I would say it's one of the hottest wrestling factions of all time, for sure. So to kind of touch base on that again, it was really, really cool. And again, to watch Jay White turn into the absolute megastar that he has been so cool. Because I remember wrestling Jay White in Milwaukee for Ring of Honor years ago before he was Switchblade, and being like, oh my God, he is awesome. And we had a really, really fun match together. So I know that, again, he deserves all this love and this praise he's getting, and any excuse to have Jay White come to AEW is a good one in my book. So
absolutely. And again, it speaks to just how exciting AEW is to me. That's one of the main attractions of it, is that, man, like all of the possibilities. There's nothing better than turning on a wrestling show and not totally knowing what you're going to get, right? It's like,
100%.
That surprise is the best. But speaking of which, man, I know what I am going to get from Adam Cole and Hangman Page this Sunday at Revolution. AEW title on the line. Man, I can't wait to see you show out on such a stacked show. Adam, always a pleasure to have you here on TalkSport, man.
Hey, thanks as always for talking to me, and I'll talk to you soon, my man.